Hey you guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maria. If you watch this video and you enjoy it, don't be shy, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for any future videos on narcissistic abuse recovery and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. Today I have a video for you on being transparent about your feelings. So a lot of us who have gone through emotional abuse as the form of trauma in our lives, we tend to live in our heads, right? We're in our mind, whether it's on a limbic system trauma loop or we're just ruminating about thoughts, and these seem to be the same things over and over again. Or maybe we were gaslighted, so somebody said something to us to make us question our own identity, our own reality, our own world. The things that we thought were okay, we're now questioning if they are or if they're not, and we're in a state of confusion. This causes us to spend a lot of time thinking instead of living, right? So we may be meeting new people, learning new information, but we're never truly able to be present because we are constantly ruminating or thinking about what has happened to us in our past. We live in a trauma response. We live in fear, in a sense. So a lot of times when we live in this fear, right, or in a trauma response, we have something going on called a protective self. So our protective self is what is not allowing us to feel the painful feelings that we're feeling inside. So when we're ruminating about what has happened to us, or we are ruminating about a certain abuser, a person, what they did, we are constantly watching videos on what a narcissist is. What are the 10 signs of a narcissist? What are the 10 signs of narcissistic abuse? And we're constantly focused outward. That is something called our protective self. Our protective self is choosing to do external things and focus externally so that we do not have to focus internally because it's just too painful. Drugs and alcohol, another thing, okay? So we're diverting our attention away from going inward. A lot of people do this by becoming a workaholic, picking up more hours at work, just to not have to feel the pain. We call this our protective self. This is just another way in which we are putting a roadblock in front of getting in touch with our feelings and being transparent about what happened to us, which is necessary if we want to move forward in a healing process. So how do we start to feel better after emotional abuse? Okay, how do we move forward, be able to be in the present and live in the present instead of constantly ruminating about the past or about the person or people who harmed us? How do we do that? Well, we do that by becoming transparent with ourselves and with the way in which we feel inside. And for all of you people that are like me, and it's so much easier to learn things when I can actually visualize what's going on, I'll tell you a quick story. I started going to a gym that had a pool, okay? And I was doing this for cardio, but also to help with my anxiety that I was feeling inside. And as I'm swimming my laps in the pool, I'm looking at the water, which is so clear. And it was just so pretty to be able to move through this clear water where I knew what was ahead. I could see what was under me. I could see what was around me. It's completely clear and transparent. And I started saying to myself as I was swimming, man, I wish my mind were this clear. I wish I didn't have these thoughts in my head, and I wish my honesty was this transparent. I wish I could feel something and then, somebody hurt me, just be able to express to them that they hurt me, and my thoughts would be this clear and this transparent, just like this pool. Well, as I kept going back every day and swimming my laps, I would continue to say that. I would look at this clear water and just say to myself, I want my mind to be this clear and this transparent. How can I do this? How can I succeed at allowing these thoughts to not continue to ruminate and be on this hamster wheel, but instead to process them and move them through my body so that I am able to think this clearly? Maybe this will help with my anxiety. So what I did was I have different groups that I go to. So even if I didn't feel comfortable opening up in a group, I did it anyway. And I was honest. I told the group that what I'm working on right now is becoming more transparent and honest in who I am as a person. Because without transparency and honesty and being able to stand up for myself, I was noticing that it was causing irritability and anxiety, which are what comes out of you when you suppress your feelings. So I made it known in a group that I was in that this was something that I was working on. And then what I did was every time an opportunity presented itself where I felt uncomfortable expressing my own truth in what I thought about what somebody had brought to the table or what somebody had said to me, I expressed it anyway, because in my mind, I had that pull in thought. And I was thinking, if I don't say this right now, this is going to be filling up this transparency that I want in my head, right? So any thought that I'm thinking, I want it to actually come out. I want to express my feelings right when it happens instead of suppressing my feelings and holding them in so that later they can come out as anger or anxiety or irritability. So as I started learning that as long as I can be transparent with my thoughts when I'm thinking them, then I can keep this clearness in my mind. So then, sometimes heavy things come into our lives. So someone came into my life and said some things to me that could have potentially been hurtful. Well, instead of internalizing them, because when we go through emotional abuse and someone says something to us that is deliberately meant to hurt us, a lot of times we internalize it and we believe it to be true and we attach it to a part of our identity. So this is called toxic shame. We then think that we are that person. But I know that my identity is not found in what other people tell me I am. So when I heard this or read this hurtful thing that was said to me, instead I got my thoughts together and I wrote a clear and concise message back, making sure that I was thoughtful and it was exactly my point that I wanted to get across. I wanted to make sure there was something that I was proud of that was coming from a place of healing, and I was standing up for myself. And I wanted to articulate clearly how I was feeling. And I was able to express those emotions and say what it was that I meant. When I did that, I started to realize that as long as we are saying what we mean, when the time comes, when at the appropriate time, when someone says something to us, like when somebody tries to gaslight you, someone tries to put you down, to be able to know that that is not who you are. And in a clear and concise way, don't attach that to your identity, but instead express how you feel about that and to let them know that's actually not a true thought. I know who I am and that is not a part of who I am. This is a way in which if you were bullied, which is a form of emotional abuse, a lot of times we take that. We take what the bully says and we just hold on to it. Being bullied means you didn't stand up for yourself. Well, being transparent means that you're now leaving that in the past. You're ready to stand up for yourself. Okay, and when you do that, you have a clear vision for your life. Okay, you can forgive yourself for things that you did in the past, because now you have chosen this route of transparency and honesty when you're dealing with other people. And I'll just leave you with this. You know, when someone says something to you, or you speak your truth and they come back and say something else to you, you don't always have to retaliate. That's the beauty about standing up for yourself and being transparent about what you think, is that when you say what you think and you stand up for yourself, there's no longer any need to retaliate. There's no room for any back and forth. You're not out to hurt other people. You're out to stand up for yourself and to protect yourself. And that's how we get back to our true selves. That's how we relearn who we are. Okay guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't be shy, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for any future videos on narcissistic abuse recovery and complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And as always, I wish you all the love